Welcome to Depths Over Noise. This is the podcast where we slow the conversation down to go beyond the surface and explore underlying truth, knowledge, and effective techniques to live a purposeful, well-lived, and fulfilling life. My guest today is Tibetan Buddhist master and a doctor of Tibetan medicine. A man whose entire life from the age of 13 has been organized around the question of how to reduce suffering and how to teach others to find happiness, calm, and love within themselves. My guest today is Tulku Lobsang Rinpoche. The term Tulku in Tibetan language refers to an incarnation, and we will hear about this more, a Lama incarnation. Rinpoche title refers to him as a precious one. It is like using excellency or eminence as appropriate. So if you hear me say Rinpoche, it's not using his name, it's respect, and that's how it is. So I'll be using that. You might hear me say that. Rinpoche was born in Amdo in northern eastern Tibet, and at the age of 13, he was recognized as the 8th reincarnation of the Nyentse Lama. He trained at several major monasteries, received techniques from all 8 principal schools of Tibetan Buddhism, and is what the tradition calls a rhyme master, a non-sectarian teacher rooted in many lineages. He is also a doctor of Tibetan medicine and an internationally recognized master of the Tummo, or inner fire practice, and the author of more than 15 books. In 2002, he founded the Nyentse Lama, a school of inner medicine whose international headquarters is now in Vienna. Through it, he has taught Tummo, Tsalung, Luzhong, and other practices to students across many countries. He has appeared on National Geographic's The Story of God with Morgan Freeman, and his teaching is recognized everywhere. He has great sense of humor, and he has an unusual gift in translating ancient practices into a language that some who has never read a single page of Buddhist scriptures can actually use in the next day, next morning. In terms of meditation, Rinpoche and the yogic techniques come from different but deeply related traditions. Rinpoche, welcome to Depths Over Noise. It's a great honor, a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Rinpoche, before we begin, let me say something. Your tradition and yogic Vedic tradition share much more than they sometimes acknowledge. The contemplative inquiry into the nature of mind, the practices of working with breath and energy, the central place of compassion in the inner life, they have been part of one larger Himalayan and South Asian contemplative civilizations for thousands of years. I have just finished a book called The Power of Caring, and one of its central arguments is that caring sustained over a life is the natural expression of consciousness, recognizing itself in another. Your tradition has its own way of saying this, and I would like in this conversation to compare what these traditions have come to understand. And so, Rinpoche, Where do you find yourself, let's say, today?
I think in the foundation of Buddhist practice, me is two things. And we all need help of others. But same time, we need to take responsibility, change ourselves. And the Buddhism is no matter whatever we practice, in the practice of middle path, middle way. Therefore, how you start in the middle path, you need accepted help of others, and you need take a responsibility, change yourself. Right path means we need help of others, but that is only half part. But we need also responsibility, change of ourselves. That's why in the heart of a Buddhist teaching, I always say we need the teaching of Buddha Dharma, but we need practice ourselves. You know, that is what I'm doing now. Yes.
Beautiful. You have been thrown into that in a sense. Of course, it's your nature, but it's very interesting that you were recognized as a Tulku at 13 years old. I would like to know what it actually meant to a 13-year-old to be told that a long life of caring for others was already, in some sense, what he was here to do. I'm sure people will wonder, how did you do that? How did that, let's say, shape how you became? How did you get that? How did you experience that?
Of course, I'm around 6, 7 years old. I went already local monastery and I study basic Buddhist knowledges. But when I'm come the age of 13, they recognize me as the reincarnation, the 8th Nyentse master. One of my neighbor's family, and I'm stay around there. That's what I remember. We're doing something together, but somehow I'm not in the monastery in that time. And we are going to study in the monastery, but we are also come back, leaving home. And then one lady, I remember, she just say, when we are all there, me is the reincarnation Lama of this Nyentse master. I remember that time all in our town or villages, all very much looking for or very much excited, very much talking about, is in China long time, they're not allowed dharmic practice, but now they start a little opening, and therefore everybody have this very excited. Yeah, it's time to opening, and therefore they want to find their master or their Lama. I remember everybody talking, young people also talking. Well, then they say me is the reincarnation Lama, but that's time first time I hear, but I don't remember what I feel myself, but I only remember what the people shock around, they're very much shocked, and that's what I remember, And I don't remember what I feel myself, but I remember they're very, very shocked, And of course, then already I'm in the monastery, but then of course they give me this name, the reincarnation Lama, and then I to go to special monastery, and then I have a special teachers who take care, studies, helps, and that means my Dharma knowledge maybe I have more, and of course I have more responsibility also. And yes, I like it, and yeah, I'm not really choice, but somehow organically, let's say, happened, and I like it, but I'm not really choose it, but I just happened. I like it until now. I'm very much enjoy in my job, what I'm doing. I'm very happy, you know.
Beautiful. Of course, you have chosen it at some level, you know, from previous reality, and just acknowledging that, it's beautiful. If we go to the Tibetan tradition, which has a practice called Tummo, the inner fire, and the Vedic tradition has a parallel practice called Agni, the fire Agni also, because there is such connection between those traditions. Actually, the Buddhist tradition, Buddha was born in India, and then he has reached enlightenment and has created all this wonderful knowledge. And both these traditions have refined over thousands of years. Both involve working with breath, attention, and subtle energy to produce heat in the body and clarity in the mind. For someone listening who has never heard of either, what is Tummo doing? What is the fire it is lighting?
Let's say Tummo. Tum means nature force, and the Mo means power of meditation. We believe it. We have a three kind of mind. We call knowledge without learning mind, knowledge with learning mind, and then we call meditation mind. Knowledge without learning mind, all species have it, and they're born with that. And knowledge with learning mind is mostly humans have, not other species have. Therefore, we human beings have both knowledge without learning and knowledge with learning. And that's make we are so special. Knowledge without learning is the animals also have it.
Instinct, we can say, maybe.
Yes, and then knowledge with learning is humans have. But then number third we talk is the meditation. Therefore, Tummo is one kind of form of meditation. Therefore, is a combination, is not just meditation, combination of a power of meditation and the power of a nature force. We are using the nature force to our meditation go to accelerated and go to profounded. Therefore, what kind of nature force we use it? Let's say we use a karmic nature force. One example karmic nature force is we call our breath. Breath is a karmic clock or biological clock, one of most powerful karmic force. Therefore, in our life, two moments we are holding the breath. One, the moment of birth, and the one is a moment of death. Moment of birth, we hold the breath in. The moment of death, we hold the breath out. And that's why the moment of birth, the moment of death, we experience something beyond knowledge. Yes, it's the one of the deepest, or beyond knowledge means we experience this nature awareness. And that's why in the Tummo practice, we are learning to, through Tummo meditation, learning to hold in the breath with a special technique, you know. And then with the holding the breath, and we possible generate inner fire. Once you generate inner fire, you generate the compassion of a body, because once you have inner fire, you don't have a pain of a body. And after inner fire, you experience bliss, what we call, is then your body not only not only don't have pain, you feel bliss. The bliss, what we call kindness of body. Tummo fire is what we call compassion of the body. And then Tummo is the way to practice compassion and the kindness of body. Once you feel the compassion, means no pain body. Once you feel kindness of body, just the bliss. And then what go to happen? Automatically your breath start to dissolve in the central channel, and then you automatically experience thoughtless state of mind or timeless state of mind, and you experience deep state of meditation, you know.
Fire or Tummo or Agni is a metabolic process also, all the transformation, so that the fire maybe is the transforming value, how we go from one state to another, and beautifully explained as these different stages whose experiences to us is this bliss, the kindness, and the meditative state, which takes us beyond change, beyond transformation. Does this meditative state take us to that field of shunyata or nirvana or anatta, or how does it compare with these states, which in yogic tradition called samadhi, transcending, going beyond everything?
Well, yes. Example, you know the teaching of Buddha Heart Sutra, the mantra of Heart Sutra. Tayata, gati gati parangati para samgati bodhi suha means go, beyond go, complete go, beyond, be in the waking. That is the meaning of mantra. And therefore, we say, we are the, let's say, ocean of samsara, and we want to go land of nirvana. In the ocean of samsara means the ocean of change. In the samsara, they have 8 realities. Yeah, we say 4 starters and 4 endings. And whatever born, go to die. That is the reality of the samsaric world. And whatever going higher and go to lower. Going to higher is going higher is the cause of going to lower. Whatever go higher, go to lower. Whatever coming and go away. Whatever have meeting, go to separate. And that's what you call 4 starters, 4 endings. And that's name we call wave of oceans. We are swimming in this oceans. And I don't think we want, and I say, birth is not to give answer of our deep questions. Death is also not to give answer of our really deep questions. You know, going higher is, I don't think, give really the final answers. Going lower is, I don't think, really answers. You know, and therefore, we are on the ocean of samsara. We want to go land of nirvana. But interesting thing is the kingdom of a samsara. What is the king? We say king is a self-grasping. Self-grasping mind is a king, and then he have 4 generals. Ego, jealous, anger, attachment is 4 generals. And then we have a countless thoughts we call army of a self-grasping. Therefore, is a go beyond the samsara means go beyond self-grasping. In this moment, we cannot experience life without grasping. We cannot experience life without clinging. Example, I need to feel pain, I need to cling in something. Otherwise, I cannot feel pain. I want the pleasant, I need to cling in something. Otherwise, I cannot feel. I also need to feel peace. Peace, what you call, people say, I feel. You still need to cling in something. Whatever you cling in is born. Whatever born have death. whatever you cling in is coming. Whatever coming is go away. And I don't think that's what we wanted. Therefore, it's the through of Tummo practice, we call Deftong Yirmik Yishi means the great, through of Tummo practice, we have a great timeless awareness, have a realization of the true nature, make we are liberated, clinging mind or grasping mind. And the moment we are liberated, clinging mind and the grasping mind, we experiences self without the born and the self without the dying. And that is what we call land of nirvana. And that is what we call safe place.
Beautiful, beautiful. And it's the same as samadhi, where the mind completely goes beyond the samskaras, which are the impressions, the waves. Things go up and down, and life, as Rinpoche is explaining to us, that going to that which is non-changing, and clinging is also can be the attachments that we have. We get attached in that sense also. And then to go beyond all of this is to transcending. That's the term we also use. It's the same as going beyond. This is wonderful. You mentioned different aspects of samskaras, and you have said also that among those, potential negative emotions, anger has the strongest negative impact on health. So what is the medicine for anger? The Tibetan medicine, the meditative medicine, and the practical medicine for someone listening, let's say, who is angry about the situation in the world, about what's happening, about other things, etc., and they feel justified to be angry, but they want not to have that anger damage, as you say, is the greatest negative effect on health. So what would you say to someone who is listening, who is full of anger right now?
Anger is, of course, knowledge without learning, means is nobody need to really learn, we know. Of course, you possible learn to increase, and you possible learn to decrease, or you possible learn to free off anger, possible, but generally we say anger is knowledge, and they have a 33 different kind of angers have. Mostly we have 3 reasons to angry. One, of course, sometimes is the pain of ourself, our own pain, whatever pain of life, pain of body, pain of mind, whatever form, something directly make pain yourself, and this pain to make you angry. Sometimes also somebody who you really like it, somebody or something make a problem, and that's you make you angry. Or somebody who you don't like it, really don't like it. The antidote of anger, according to the Buddhist teaching, is a kindness, what you call compassion and the kindness. Kindness is a direct antidote of anger, but kindness not antidote of attachment. Therefore, we practice a teaching of kindness. Maybe then you ask me how I go to practice a kindness. Of course, there are many way to practice. I say this way, is the practice of, let's say, letting go. And the practice of letting go is the best way to practice of kindness. I always say, once you practice letting go, is maybe you have very little reason to angry. Mostly we are angry because we hold something what we don't like it, or something happened what we don't want it, and we holding what we don't like it. Nobody possible take away this really, and I recommend don't wait it. I don't think nobody go to take away, and then best you just letting go this. What you hold it make you pain and angry, And that is the way to liberate anger. Therefore, best of the antidote of anger, practice of kindness and the practice of letting go.
Beautiful. Practice of letting go means let go of attachment, of too much clinging, because you expect something to be in a certain way, and you are so attached to that that you are overwhelmed by it. So the practice of, again, going beyond, transcending, going beyond that level of attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, yoga stakuru karmani, which means established in being, then perform action. So when you're established in that field of absolute non-change, then actually we are established in the self, and then less attachment leads to less anger. This is where kindness and compassion play a role, because in kindness you kind of accept the other, and the compassion you even feel and see what is happening more clearly. So in Tibetan, the word karuna is usually translated as compassion. But as you mentioned, you make a finer distinction between compassion itself and a feeling of compassion as a way of being. So what is sometimes called bodhicitta, the awakened heart. Can you tell us what the difference is and why it matters?
Well, interesting. And we have many systems to practice this, but generally we have three practices: kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And the kindness, antidote of anger; compassion, antidote of attachment; and bodhicitta, antidote of ignorance. Therefore, first we believe it, to have bodhicitta, you cannot experience bodhicitta without compassion. And you cannot experience compassion without kindness. Correct? And that's why once you practice kindness make open your heart. We talk three qualities of our heart. One, happiness, and no pain, and energy. The energy, yes. Without kindness, nothing make you go to happy. Without compassion, everything make you pain. Without kindness, you never go to happy anything. You don't know how to be happy. Without kindness, they don't have happiness. You don't know. Kindness is not the way to happiness. Kindness is happiness. Without compassion, everything make you hurt and pain. And without bodhicitta, you don't have energy. It's therefore bodhicitta is selfless love. The love of the child, of mothers, is the one of the best example of a selflessness love. In this name we call bodhicitta, one of the nearest of experience of bodhicitta. Therefore, love of mothers enough give you energy, rest of life. It's the rest of the life. And therefore, bodhicitta give you the energy to helping others endless, and give also energy to practice or changing yourself. Because one of the greatest problem in our world, anything you want to change yourself, is you want to help others. They have one greatest enemy, is laziness, And the laziness make we are not have energy, Laziness take all of our energy away. And that is why. Therefore, we Buddhisms talk three kinds of laziness. We call basic laziness, is laziness who don't want to do anything. And we have advanced laziness, and the laziness who want to do tomorrow. And then we have a hidden laziness who always need to do other things. The laziness, one of the greatest illness, or one of the greatest illness in our path. Therefore, and we need bodhicitta, because bodhicitta who give we endless energy. Therefore, bodhicitta is this unconditional love or selfless love, what love have mothers their child.
It's so beautiful, Rinpoche. It's really beautiful. And I'm really delighted, even from a scientific perspective. There is caring that is instinctive. We are wired to care. That is part of our physiology. Also, as a human species, we evolved to care. And by caring about each other, we kind of are able to overcome difficulties or stronger species that are around us because we are one and unified, but that is internally wired. And this kind of caring, although it's great, can also be impulsive based on one's stress, one's feelings, one's strain. And now as you explain it, it seems to me like this is the knowledge non-learning. It's kind of automatic. The autonomic nervous system works. The reflexes work in the physiology. And then we have the learned kind of knowledge, if you like, which is the do's and don'ts that we have in society. You do this, you shouldn't do that. And these are kind of, they become sometimes performance rather than actual activities. And then conscious caring is, in a way, bodhicitta, because that is the caring from the deep level of being, from the deep level of consciousness. Caring is taking into consideration the whole situation, and as you mentioned, bodhicitta beautifully is love, is selfless love. Selfless, but also taking care of oneself so that one can help, obviously, also selfless love towards the body and to all of that. Lujong is the healing yoga of the body. So Lojong is the training of the mind, and Tsalung works with the subtle channels. So for someone listening who has not begun any practice and is exhausted by modern life, what is the first thing you would give them?
I like to say this. We are the slave of this body. We are army of this mind. We do anything if this body asks something. We go to fight anybody if this mind give order us. Is me is a spiritual means conquer in the body and the mind. Therefore, there are important sentence of Buddha's sutra. He said, don't do wrong actions, do right actions, and conquer your mind. That is the teaching of Buddha. And therefore, is the whole purpose to conquer ourself. Therefore, now question is what is more easy? First, easy conquer our mind, or more easy to conquer our body. But in the Buddhist teachings, we believe our mind look like adult person and our body look like a child. Therefore, we human in the combination of the child and the adult person. And that's why Tantric Buddhisms, we first try to conquer or training our body. Once your body change it, your mind go to change it. Once your mind go to change it, your body go to change it. But which one more easier? We believe it, and the body is more easy to change it. And to change in body, of course, we have this Lujong practice, what you call is kind of form of yoga, and some positions, some movements, and then of course what you talk Tsalung, and we to learn to hold in the breath. We walk with the breath, and through of exercise, through of walking your breath, we believe it, you possible conquer or you possible change it, your body. But in Tantric Buddhism, we say our body have one heart, two brain. We have heart and the sexual organ and the brain. And our heart we call wind heart. And the sexual organ is we call fire brain. And the normal brain we call water brain. Therefore, our body is very important, wind and the fire and the water. And that's why in the Tantric Buddhisms we say very important postures. Posture is very, very important. Once you keep straight your spine, is fire energy waking up, Once you relax the shoulders, the water energy start to melting, And then once do this, and your mind become automatically calm. We believe power of a position. Once you have a right posture and your energy change it. When your energy change it, your mind go to change it. And that's why I teach in this what you call Lujung exercise or Tsalung exercise to, let's say, conquer our body and hopefully, and that's a great helpful, yes?
Wonderful, really wonderful. I want to come back to caring because it's my focus now. I want to see how you feel about it. And this book, The Power of Caring, makes the argument that caring is most powerful when it has stopped being effortful, when it has become the natural movement of consciousness itself. And the Vedic word for this is the recognition that the Atman, the self in me, is the Atman or the self in you. And your traditions, the great Buddhist traditions, has kind of different metaphysics, but it's pointing at the same experience is, bodhicitta, the awakened heart. I think the doctrinal disagreement matters less than people imagine. And what we are agreeing on, that both tradition is that there is a level of recognition at which caring becomes the natural activity of being aware. And that recognition is what your tradition cultivates through bodhicitta and what the Vedic tradition cultivates through atmagyan. So the doors are different, the room is the same, the effect is the same. And what I have looked at and sustained caring over a lifetime is that it requires an inner ground that most people are never taught how to find. Because without that ground, caring depletes the giver. And with this inner ground, caring nourishes both the giver and the receivers. So from the Buddhist side, what is the inner ground? What does your great Buddhist tradition teach about the inner platform, the inner ground, and how it is built?
Well, in the Buddhist world, we talk, let's say this way, conventional love and the substantial love, absolute love. Conventional love means love of mind, what we told it before, kindness, compassion, and the bodhicitta. And substantial love means love of the body, what we talk, example, Tummo fire, Tummo bliss, Tummo non-conceptual state. And the through of the love of mind or through of love of a body, example, Mahayana Buddhism, we teach the profound love of mind, and the Vajrayana Buddhism, not only this, we teach profound love of the body, what you call Tummo. Through of love of mind, through of love of a body, you possibly discover this unconditional love, what you call absolute love. Is love something you not learned? Love is something you made it. Love is not something give it. Therefore, in this name, what you call Buddha nature, or maybe basic good nature. Our deepest nature is a nature of love. Our deepest nature is our unconditional nature. I think it's not only our nature, our unconditional nature is love. And how we know this is two logic reason. Everybody wants to be happy. Wanting happiness is nothing to do with the culture, nothing to do with the religion. It's nothing to do with the good people, bad people. Good people want to be happy. Bad people, maybe they also want to be happy. Maybe they want more happy than anybody. And therefore, everybody wanting happiness is our diamond nature. Nobody possible change it. Nobody possible take away this. One day somebody says, I want to be suffering, I never want to be happy. This is never possible. And then it's why we all want to be happy. Why? It's question why. Because happiness is our nature. Therefore, our nature is good, and our unconditional nature is good. Because of that, we also naturally wanted to help others, don't want to harm others. And deep down, we all want to be happy. Nobody wants suffering, And that's why our deep nature is love and caring. And that's why this is a very, very important practice, I always say, help others. That is a compassion. Change yourself. This is a wisdom. And that's also why I say love is more important than truth. We born with love, yes, but we're not born with the truth. Truth mostly we learn. I don't believe truth is enough make a better world. I always say truth without love is very painful. Knowledge without wisdom is very dangerous.
Beautiful, really beautifully said. And love, wonderful. Love is a unifying force. Love is to see the other as yourself. Really, love is that unifying ultimate reality, which allows us to see myself as part of the other self. And that is where this great unity consciousness says. And Rinpoche, what have you learned about translating these practices so they actually land for modern lives? Because you mentioned that, and you're doing that through your speeches, through your talks. Thank you for being with us. Have you learned something from the modern cultures, how the corporate people, how the 21st century people looking for truth or whatever, how they actually react to this knowledge that you are translating to them in a practical way?
Well, I'm come from very traditional study or traditional background, and our traditional teachers, sometimes we have one problem. We over-respect our teachings, and that's, I see, one weakness. Sometimes we over-respected teachings as a good thing, and we overprotected, and then we not enough translated we cannot give the level of their need, and I see the one extreme side of the traditional teachers generally. And now we have modern new age teachers, and there I see one weakness, what I say, they're over compassion, they're not enough respect the traditional teachings, and then they go extreme sides, is then, and the traditional ones never maybe reach it to people. The modern new age teachers, they go to reach it, people, but they're nothing left, They're nothing left inside. They translate, they over care people, and then they destroy everything. Then I don't know, we need this kind of spiritual teaching or not. You just start to talk in no more things, And therefore, I think we need between, yes, you need to respect the traditional teachings. I think traditional teachings is still really helpful. But then you need compassion to translate the level of their understanding, You ask me what I learned in the modern world. I think I learned maybe many things, but one thing, learn to flexibility, And therefore I try to, the Buddhist teachings, without losing essence, I try to translate with a very simple language or something makes sense immediately. And I'm doing this, and looks like some degrees of helping and beneficial. Yeah.
Wonderful. It reminds me of, our founder of the Transcendental Meditation program that comes from the ancient Vedic tradition also, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, when he came to the West to wake up people, to awaken them, to awaken consciousness, to raise awareness. And he gave lectures, and among the lecture, he said that, transcendental meditation helps you also to sleep better and to feel better on a physical level, because mind and body are so connected. And the next day in the newspaper, they say that here is a teacher from India that helped you to sleep more. So he said, I wanted to pack my things and go, because I came to create awakening and they want just to sleep more. But then he said, no matter how they take it, no matter how they accept it, if they start, then they'll wake up more. And that's what you're saying. Flexibility and patience is really wonderful. Rinpoche, I want to say to the listeners something that actually the ancient yogic, Vedic, and Buddhist traditions have been in conversation with each other for more than 2,000 years. And we are part of that conversation. What they have been having between them is more than what separates them. And what they both, in their different vocabularies, are trying to give the world is the same gift. The recognition that caring is not a burden imposed on a hostile universe, but the natural activity of a consciousness that at its deepest level is loving by nature. So thank you for the work of your life, Rinpoche. And the depths over noise question that I ask every guest, if you could leave one sentence with the listener, particularly the listener who is suffering and does not know where to begin, what would that sentence be?
We have noise and the voice. Noise, something what we go to hear. And voice is not something we go to hear. Therefore, I want to say, don't listen so much noise, and to listen more inner voice. The inner voice, voice of your true nature. And that's also why I say, people, you need to listen others, but you only need to follow yourself.
How beautiful, how wonderful. Thank you. It's a great honor, Rinpoche. Thank you. Thank you for your tradition, for your teaching, for the warmth and the humor with which you have given your life to the reduction of suffering, and for this conversation. To everyone listening, whatever your tradition, whatever your starting point, the practice that begins tonight with one quiet breath, one moment of kindness, one act of caring, is part of the same lineage every great teacher has carried forward. Begin where you are. The fire is already in you. And until next time on Depths Over Noise. What we heard from Tulku Lobsang Rinpoche is for me a profound conversation about ancient contemplative traditions that meet and discover that they are pointing at the same underlying reality with different vocabularies. Let me share 3 aspects from his teaching that landed most deeply. The first is the precision of his teaching on Tummo, the inner fire. The Tibetan tradition and the Vedic tradition both have inner fire practices refined over thousands of years. He explained that there are 3 kinds of mind: knowledge without learning, which we share with the animals; knowledge with learning, which makes us human; and meditation, the third and deepest. Tummo combines the power of meditation with the natural force of breath. The breath is held twice in a human life, at birth and at death. And in both of those moments, we experience something beyond ordinary knowledge. Through the practice, inner fire is generated. The body becomes free of pain, bliss arises, the breath dissolves into the central channel. The mind enters a thoughtlessness, timeless state. The vocabulary is Tibetan. The phenomenon being described is universal. The second is the architecture of three loves. He distinguishes between kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. Each is an antidote to a different problem. Kindness is the antidote of anger. Compassion is the antidote of attachment. Bodhicitta, the awakened heart, the selfless love, is the antidote of ignorance and of the laziness that prevents us from acting at all. And then a structural account. Without kindness, nothing makes you happy. Without compassion, everything makes you pain. Without bodhicitta, you have no energy. The example he gave of bodhicitta was the love of a mother for her child. Selfless, generative, the source of endless energy for the rest of her life. That single image carries enormous teaching. In The Power of Caring, I have been writing about what I call conscious caring, caring that flows from a settled inner state. Rinpoche's framework gives me an even more precise vocabulary for what I was trying to describe. The third is the closing answer. I asked what he would say to someone suffering who does not know where to begin. He said, "We have noise and we have voice. Do not listen so much to the noise, listen more to the inner voice, the voice of your true nature." For a podcast called Depths Over Noise, that line was a gift. Three things then that I take from Rinpoche's conversation into my own work on caring. First, the inner ground is real, and the contemplative traditions of the world have been between themselves, have mapped that in an extraordinary precision. The Tibetan vocabulary is Buddha's nature, bodhicitta, unconditioned nature. The vocabulary in the Vedic tradition is Atman, Brahman, Sat Chit Ananda. The vocabularies differ. The reality they describe does not. What both traditions agree on is that there is a level of recognition at which caring becomes the natural activity of being aware. Second, Rinpoche's blunt argument that our deepest nature is love. He gave two simple logical proofs. Everybody wants to be happy. Nobody wants to suffer. This is universal. It crosses culture, religion, good people, bad people. Therefore, he said, happiness and love are our unconditioned nature. The rest of life is conditions temporarily covering that nature. And third, change yourself. The deepest answer the book gives to a suffering world is that the only place we have direct authority over is ourselves. Rinpoche put it more starkly. Truth without love is very painful. Knowledge without wisdom is very dangerous. In the 21st century, the century of more truth than humanity has ever had, what we are short of is not information. It is love and wisdom. The inner work is not a luxury. It is the medicine of our age. To everyone listening, Rinpoche said, and said it best, do not listen so much to the noise, listen more to the inner voice, the voice of your true nature. That is, in one sentence, the meaning of depth over noise. Rinpoche, thank you for your tradition, for your teaching, for the warmth and humor with which you have given your life to the reduction of suffering, and for the lineage of caring that began long before any philosophical or scientific traditions, and that continues through well-wishers of humanity into whatever comes next.